Pit lane. This is, well, where race cars belong. You know what I'm talking about. Cars with roll cages, with Alcantara racing seats, all the carbon fibre, everything stripped out, no extra weight. This is not home to luxury, you know, the finest leathers and woods, except for today, because today we are driving this all new Bentley Continental GT Speed.
Subscribe to see the first drives of New Zealand's newest and best cars driven on New Zealand roads and New Zealand conditions. Bentley, presence, power and plush. You know, the GT has always delivered those 3 Ps and one more P. Perfect. This was the car that confirmed that after more than 70 years, Bentley was no longer a slightly less buttoned down version of Rolls-Royce. And now the 4th generation Continental GT is in New Zealand.
And it's spectacular. You know, Hampton Downs is getting set for a busy summer of motorsport, but very few cars that will be on this track will match this for power.
Come to think about it, no road car Bentley have ever produced in more than a century can match this new Continental GT Speed.
575 kilowatts, that's 771 horsepower. There's 1,000 Newton meters of torque. You know, when you compare it to the old Speed, the W12, this has around 100 more horsepower and 100 more Newton meters.
Yes, the mighty 6-litre W12 has been retired and replaced by a 4-litre V8.
And one other thing, I'll show it to you now. You've been listening to the V8. This is also an EV. We're now silently motoring. You can do up to 80 kilometres emissions free. I know that's all very nice and green, but that's not why we're at Hampton Downs. Let's go.
If the thought of the Conti going plug-in worried you, don't. The 4-litre V8 is so much faster and it sounds glorious. Let's talk numbers. Until this car arrived, the fastest 0 to 100 time for a GT was 3.6 seconds. Now, thanks to the extra power and launch control, the new GT hits triple figures in 3.1 seconds.
Let's see what that looks like. That's 100 well gone. That was 160, by the way. My goodness, this car is quick. The torque is amazing. And it just goes and goes and goes. Forget the W12. And look, I have actually seen reports where people have seen times 0 to 100 in the 2 seconds. I haven't got the proper timing equipment, but that felt almost that quick. Man.
And this from a car that can deliver a real-world 8.7 litres per 100. If you can resist the urge, if this car will stay fully electric well over the open road speed limit. Okay, it's not as exciting a talking point as the possibility of a sub 3-second tonne, but one eco figure which will be helpful in the future is the official CO2 figure of just 29 grams per kilometre. Actually, speaking of weighing things, the Conti has never been a lightweight, and the 26 kilowatt-hour battery does mean this 4th gen version is 180 kilos heavier than the last model.
Yeah, the crew had a bit of a laugh at me putting on the helmet. It's not to pretend to be a race driver, it's so we can, within the rules, go a lot faster. Better say something. The key now though is the weight is in the right place, thanks to those batteries. In fact, weight distribution is nearly perfect. In fact, slightly heavier at the rear. It means at speed, this car is unbelievably agile.
Less transformational is the design. This is still unmistakably a Continental GT. That resting beast stance, the upright elegance of the Speed grille and the endless bonnet. Also the pure muscle of the rear haunches, it's all trademark GT. But look again, the quad lights are gone. Now you get the Batur and Baccarat inspired focused lights, still with crystal but also LED matrix. The tail lamps have also gone focus, and the trickiest light show is the new puddle lights, which are both animated and in colour. And that, as much as anything, sums up what Bentley have produced here. You see, they haven't changed anything that was, well, already perfect. The bezel still rotates and every stitch is still done by hand to create a quilted, cosseting paradise. But it's not pipe and slippers. The yellow flashes give a hint of supercar and the black chrome confirms this is the Speed version.
You know, but it's still the epitome of luxury in the way it looks, the way it feels, the way it smells. It really is like being in the finest leather armchair. Just with rockets attached.
Along with the launch control, there's a new 8-speed dual-clutch gearbox, all-wheel drive, there's 4-wheel steering, carbon ceramic brakes, a limited slip differential and torque vectoring.
When you factor in the balance and the power, this car is perfectly at home on a racetrack. You can even factor in Continental Drift. Man.
It is still a majestic muscle car in a way that only Bentley can do. It still feels ready to cross continents with ease and speed. After all, it's what the name suggests. But this Gen 4 version is so much more.
What a drive. I know the helmet might have looked like overkill, but they're the rules. It also meant we could enjoy this car properly. I did at times consider, yes, it's keeping me safe, but the real thing to protect was this car. How do I sum up this experience? Once I realized I could trust this car, forget terrifying, exhilarating. But how do you sum it up? Well, it's a 771 horsepower car capable of 335 kilometers an hour. Yet it can also be completely environmentally friendly, up to 80 kilometers. And then you've got more sort of contrast. You've got the fact that this has luxury to match any car on the road, yet it will match any supercar for straight out performance. It is some car, and I will say without doubt, this is the best Bentley I have ever driven. Thank you.